Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic. If you didn't happen to be here, perhaps it's time to meet your soul.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic, the place where we unravel the journey of the soul through the lens of astrology and numerology. There are moments in life that feel like a bell ringing, a circle closing, and a new door opening. Today, we will speak of Scorpio, the zodiac sign most familiar with loss and rebirth. Standing at the threshold where the world year number 9 closes and the year number 10 begins. These are not just numbers, they are the heartbeat of the universe, the map by which we understand where we've been and what we are about to step into. The journey of Scorpio over the past 9 years has been like a novel written in many chapters. Pages inked with tears, with endings, and with the extraordinary courage to rise again. But as the door of number 9 closes, the universe does not allow you to stop. It opens the door of number 10, a beginning that is fuller, clearer, and wiser. And in this journey, we will walk through 5 chapters together to uncover the lessons Scorpio has learned, the truths you have seen, and the spiritual luggage you must prepare for the road ahead. The essence of Scorpio in the spiral of number 9. Looking back on the 9-year journey that has passed, perhaps no one understands the meaning of the number 9 more deeply than Scorpio. If 9 is the full stop, the closure of a cycle, then Scorpio is the very symbol of death and rebirth. The two merge into one, forming a path of trials you are compelled to walk to the very end. To outsiders, you may appear unyielding, unbreakable. Yet in the shadows, you have fallen many times, sometimes so hard you thought you could never rise again. And yet, in those darkest moments, Scorpio's survival instinct awakens with force, pulling you back to your feet, quiet, relentless, so you can once again face the world with that piercing gaze. In numerology, 9 is known as the number of endings, but not endings steeped in despair. It is like the harsh winter that forces us to release withered branches, making room for tender shoots to bloom in spring. For Scorpio, the past 9-year cycle has been a long winter, where loss, separation, and shocks that seemed unbearable came knocking one after another. Perhaps it was a love that ended, even though you once believed it eternal. Perhaps it was a family broken, a career collapsed, or health at its lowest point. You may have asked yourself again and again, why does everything arrive at once as if to drown me? And in solitude, you slowly discovered the answer, because only when everything falls apart do you find the courage to be reborn. This is Scorpio's true nature. You do not fear dying in the symbolic sense. What you fear is living endlessly in a worn-out shell, pretending to be fine when everything inside has already rotted away. That is why the number 9 comes as a summons, to end, to release, to let what has already died be buried with dignity. Yes, it hurts, but within that loss, a new chapter begins. Others may flee from pain, but not Scorpio. You dive straight into it, allowing it to burn away what no longer serves you, until from those ashes, your phoenix wings unfurl once again. The past 9 years have carved resilience into you, but they have left more than that. They have given you scars, not to weaken you, but to remind you that strength is never born in comfort. These scars are proof that you once loved with depth, lost to the core, bled for your dreams, and collapsed in exhaustion on the path to finding yourself. Yet because of this, you now carry a rare power, the ability to rise after every fall, and the profound knowing that the brightest light only bursts forth after the longest night. Someone once said to you, in a fleeting conversation, "We never really know how strong we are until being strong is the only choice left." You remained silent, but inwardly you nodded. For that sentence is a mirror of your 9-year journey. And now, as the number 9 closes, you are no longer who you once were. You have transformed, like a river that has coursed through countless rapids, carrying silt, but also bearing stones. No light ever shines without passing through darkness. No courage is ever forged without ruin. Over the past 9 years, the world of number 9 has gifted Scorpio an unforgettable lesson. True strength does not lie in never falling, but in knowing how to rise again each time you do. And it is those very threads of shadow that have woven the resilience you now carry, ready to step forward into a brand new journey. The naked truth beneath the ashes. If the world year number 9 could take form as a symbol, it would be a cold, gleaming mirror. A mirror that does not allow you to turn away, does not permit you to hide, but forces you to face what has long been buried in the shadows. For Scorpio, this was both a painful and enlightening experience. Because the number 9, with its essence of endings and purification, does not only strip away what is outside, it peels back every layer of armor you've built to conceal yourself. And when the ashes finally fall, what remains is the naked truth, the very thing you've tried so many times to deny, yet could never escape. Over those 9 years, you witnessed others reveal their true selves. Some people you once trusted turned out to be nothing more than temporary companions, present when life was smooth, gone the moment the storm arrived. Others, who once seemed like strangers, became rare anchors at the lowest depths. The world of 9 was like a test, drawing a sharp line between truth and illusion. And Scorpio, with your piercing eyes, was ultimately forced to accept that not everyone stays until the end, and not every bond holds eternal value. But the hardest part was not seeing through others. The hardest part was being made to look at yourself. How many times did you wear the mask of coldness just to hide wounds still bleeding underneath? How many times did you cling to relationships long dead, simply because you feared the emptiness that would follow? Scorpio's instinct is to hold on, to resist letting go of what once felt so profound. Yet the year of 9 offers no mercy. It is like an invisible hand tearing through every pretense, making it clear that what no longer carries life will inevitably dissolve. One evening, in a brief conversation, you heard someone say, "I thought I had lost everything, but in truth, I only lost what was never mine to keep." The words rang like a bell, startling you into the realization that loss is not always tragedy. Sometimes, it is nothing more than a natural cleansing, leaving behind only what is purest and most enduring. You nodded quietly, because that too was your truth. Loves you thought eternal, dreams you held tightly, relationships you believed unbreakable, all slipped away. And yet, when the ashes fell, what remained was the very core of you, something no fire could ever destroy. In that moment, you began to understand. Truth, no matter how painful, liberates more than any sweet illusion ever could. Truth brings freedom. It shows you who is worthy and who is only passing by. It reveals what is worth holding and what was always just a fragile shell bound to break. Most of all, it returns you to yourself, a Scorpio reborn, stripped of illusions, standing firmly in what is real. Looking back, you see that the world year number 9 did not come to destroy, but to purify. It was like a raging fire, burning down the ancient forest so that fresh soil could welcome new shoots. And you, though you walked through pain, stood before that mirror and did not look away. Now the ashes have fallen. In the silence, you see what truly remains: a steadfast heart, a soul that knows itself, and eyes no longer clouded by illusion. Crossing the threshold of number 10. At last, the train of number 9 comes to its final stop, a terminal where every passenger must disembark. Ahead, a new doorway opens, the doorway of number 10. For many, 10 is simply the digit that follows 9. But for Scorpio, it carries a deeper resonance, the union of 1, the symbol of beginnings, and 0, the infinite void where every possibility resides. It is not just a new beginning, but the beginning of a soul that has endured loss to its depths, died and been reborn countless times, and now understands the sacred weight of every step forward. 9 years ago, you entered the old cycle with innocence, sometimes even unconsciously. Today, you are no longer the same. You have learned how devastating pain can be, but also how profound your strength runs. Every choice you make now is no longer ruled by fear, but forged from hard-earned experience. You have come to understand that a true beginning is not about starting from nothing. It is about beginning with distilled lessons, with scars transmuted into wisdom. Scorpio, as you cross the threshold of 10, you no longer search for light somewhere far away. You learn instead to kindle your own flame, even in the thickest darkness. In numerology, the number 10 also holds the meaning of wholeness. It is both a circle completed and a point of departure. For you, this is the moment to decide. What will you carry forward and what must you leave behind? For you know that no journey truly begins if the luggage is still heavy with old shadows. Every step in this new cycle will carry the weight of choice, and you alone must bear the responsibility. But this responsibility is no longer a burden. It is the mark of maturity, the sign of a soul strong enough to steer its own vessel. Someone once asked you, if you had to start over, wouldn't you be afraid? You only smiled, for you know you have started over more than once already. Every collapse in the past 9 years was its own beginning, though you may not have realized it then. This time is different. This is the beginning of awakening, where you walk not trembling, but steadier than ever. You no longer look outside for guarantees, because you have learned that the greatest power lies within. The universe sets before you the door of number 10 as a reminder. It is time to turn loss into foundation, unfinished dreams into concrete plans, and fear into fuel. Crossing this threshold, you are no longer merely the survivor of storms. You are the one who steers your ship through them. That is the essential difference. You are no longer carried by the current, but consciously choosing your course. And when the door of number 10 opens, you will discover a simple truth. Everything you have endured did not come to destroy you. It came to prepare you for this moment. A moment in which you can finally declare, I am ready. I am not only seeking the light, I am the light, the luggage for a new beginning. No one can step into a new journey if their shoulders are still heavy with old baggage. For Scorpio, this is truer than for almost any other sign. For you are one who tends to hold on tightly to whatever has touched your heart, whether joy or pain. But now that the train of number 9 has come to its stop, the universe demands that you ask yourself, what do I still wish to carry, and what must be left behind? The heavy fragments of memory, the grudges still unhealed, the shadows of betrayal, all of these can become chains that bind your feet. Number 9 has already taught you, every ending carries a message. Let go. If you do not, then the doorway of number 10 will open only halfway while you remain stranded at the threshold of the past. Someone once wrote in their journal, I choose to keep courage and bid farewell to doubt. The words seem simple, yet within them lies the very spirit you need for this new beginning. You might try such a ritual yourself. Sit down and write out all the things you no longer wish to carry. The silent hatred that once gnawed at you, the doubts that kept you from trusting, or the fear of failure that stopped you from beginning. Write them all down and then burn the paper, letting the ashes drift away on the wind. The ritual is not magic, but it is a declaration that you are ready to release. And after that, write a new vow for the year of number 10. It does not need to be ornate, only honest. I will not let old darkness block the light that is waiting to come. For when your load is lightened, your steps will be steadier. And in that very lightness, you will begin to see your path clearly. Which road is truly meant for you, which people are worthy to walk beside you, and which dreams deserve your full devotion. Scorpio, you already carry within you the instinct of rebirth. But this time, your rebirth will not wear the shape of a mere survivor. It will be the rebirth of a free soul, one who chooses to rise not because they must, but because they truly want to. Remember this. Your luggage is not only what you carry with you, but also what you decide to set down. And sometimes, that very act of release is the greatest gift you can give yourself, for only when your hands are no longer busy clutching shadows will they be free to embrace the light that waits ahead. A message from the universe. In the end, when everything has quieted down, what remains is not the noise of past upheavals, but the whisper of the universe. It is not loud, not urgent. It simply hums softly like a message you cannot ignore. Only when you dare to die to the past can you truly be born for the future. For Scorpio, this message feels as natural as blood flowing through your veins. All your life and death, beginnings and endings, have walked side by side like two faces of the same coin. There is no letting go without pain and no rebirth without collapse. Yet because of that, you are living proof of immortal strength. You can fall countless times, yet rise again. And each time you rise, you shine even brighter than before. The world year number 10 opens like a book with untouched white pages. For many, it is just another new cycle. But for Scorpio, it is the chance to shape destiny itself. This is not a beginning of unconscious wandering as in the past, but a deliberate beginning, one forged in the fire of 9 years of trials. You have learned how to discern illusion from truth. You know who is meant to walk with you and who must be left behind. And most importantly, you know who you truly are, something not everyone can claim after such a long cycle. You may choose to step forward quietly, without spectacle, without haste, but each step you take carries the weight of deep experience, of profound reflection. Every action, every decision now holds the essence of maturity. There is no need for noise, no need to prove anything to anyone, for true light never needs advertisement. It only needs to exist. And Scorpio, you are that light. A light once tested by shadows, battered by storms, but now shining, fiercer, and more radiant than ever before. Remember, your strength is not that you have never been broken, but that you have turned broken pieces into a new mosaic. The universe has witnessed it all. Every tear swallowed in silence, every wound hidden beneath your hardened shell, every moment you chose quiet endurance over resentment. And this quiet resilience, that is the most beautiful answer to every trial you've faced. Now, as you hear these words, pause for a moment. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, am I truly ready? If the answer is yes, do not hesitate to leave behind an affirmation, like a sacred ritual opening the new door. Write it down, not for anyone else to see, but for you to know that you have chosen. I am ready to rise again. For when you dare to speak those words, the universe will answer. It will clear the way, bringing to you opportunities, people, and even new challenges, all so that you may continue to affirm your true phoenix nature. And so, this new chapter is not merely a page. It is an epic waiting to be written, with the light of your unbreakable heart as its ink. In the end, this story isn't only about the number 9 or the number 10. It is about you, the Scorpio souls who have fallen countless times only to rise again. The universe whispers to you, only when you dare to die to the past can you truly be born for the future. And the world year number 10 is living proof that the future is waiting for you to rewrite it, not with fear, but with the light distilled from the very darkness you have walked through. So if you've listened this far, leave a mark for yourself. Write in the comments as a declaration, as a sacred ritual to open the new door. I am ready to rise again. Don't see it as just words. See it as a vow to the universe and to your own heart. Thank you for journeying with Jin's Cosmic. Until we meet again in the next adventures, where we will continue to decode the cycles, the zodiac, and the hidden messages the universe keeps sending to each of us.